Anyone new to celebrating Holy Week may wonder why we call this day good. In fact, people all over the world wonder why Jesus' followers are so preoccupied with his crucifixion. Good Friday is an opportunity to share the good news. Jesus suffered because of human actions, but the suffering was not the end of the story. We can tell one another that this day is indeed good because it provides an opportunity to act as Christ did, teaching, healing, sharing, and walking through the suffering of human life with friends as well as strangers. Every conversation you have today is an opportunity to be especially gracious, humble, and celebratory, because we look forward to the day when all God's people will experience unconditional love, like the love Christ gave to everyone he encountered, which took him to the cross and beyond. Let's share responsively in this opening prayer. We gather at a crossroad. We know not what lies ahead. We know that we will encounter betrayal, pain, and loneliness, but we will go willingly because we go together with Christ. Let us continue on our journey with courage, hope, and gratitude. God of the journey's end, we know that any day can bring both sadness and hope. We are formed and transformed by experiencing the good in each day and courageously facing the difficulties ahead. Draw us near to each other as you draw us nearer to you, so we may share strength with those who have less and borrow courage from those who have more. Amen. turn to a time of confession and to hear words of assurance even on this day. And we share in these words responsively. We confess we are unwilling to live without faith. We confess we believe in the author of our faith. We confess we are unable to live without hope. We confess we yearn for the hope that will not die. We confess we are afraid to live without love. We confess we love the Christ in our hearts. We rest in the assurance that faith, hope, and love are with us and within us. Thanks be to God. Amen. And now we turn to two readings. The first is a reading from Wendell Berry. It is a poem that he wrote entitled The Wild Rose, which reads, sometimes hidden from me in daily custom and in ritual, I live by you unaware, as if by the beating of my heart. Suddenly, you flare again in my sight, a wild rose at the edge of the thicket, where yesterday there was only shade. And I am blessed and choose again that which I chose before. And then hear this adaptation based on the gospel reading from John chapter 18, verse 1, all the way through chapter 19, verse 42. It is a depiction entitled Between Two Gardens, and it reads, the day started in silence. Jesus took the disciples to a garden he knew, a quiet place where they would sit and pray and wait for what was about to happen. Judas knew the garden too, and he came there with the soldiers carrying lanterns and torches and weapons like they were going into battle. Jesus spoke. Who are you looking for? Jesus of Nazareth. I am he, Jesus said, and the soldiers fell to the ground. Who are you looking for? Jesus of Nazareth. I told you that I am he, so if you are looking just for me, let my disciples go free. Peter took out a sword and went after one of the people with the soldiers, but Jesus said, put your sword away. It is time for me to drink the cup that God has given me. The soldiers took Jesus to the high priest, and Peter and the disciples followed him, waiting outside the gate. Someone asked Peter, are you one of Jesus' disciples? But Peter quickly answered, I am not, and drew nearer to the charcoal fire the police had built outside the gate. For some reason, he felt very cold. A police officer asked Peter again if he was Jesus' disciple, and again he answered, I am not. Finally, a slave asked, didn't I see you in the garden with Jesus this very night? For the third time, Jesus said no, and a rooster crowed. Meanwhile, inside the gate, the high priest asked Jesus about his teaching, and Jesus answered, I have said nothing in secret. Why are you asking me? The police slapped Jesus for being rude to the high priest, and Jesus said, did I say something wrong? Why are you hitting me? They took Jesus to see Pilate, who asked him, are you the king of the Jews? And Jesus answered, are you the one asking this? Or did others tell you about me? Pilate said, I am not a Jew, but your fellow Jews handed you over to me. What have you done wrong? And Jesus said, my kingdom is not of this world. So you are a king. You say I am the king, but I say that I testify to the truth, and everybody who belongs to the truth listens to my voice. Pilate asked Jesus, what is truth? But Jesus did not answer him. he had said all there was to say. Pilate said to the crowd, "You have a custom that I can release a prisoner this time of year. Shall I release the king of the Jews?" But the crowd said, "No, Barabbas, Barabbas, release Barabbas, the bandit." And Pilate did not let Jesus go free. Instead, he told his soldiers to whip Jesus. The soldiers dressed him up in a ridiculous costume, a purple robe, and a crown made of thorns, making fun of him, saying, "Hail! Hail, King of the Jews!" while they hit him in the face. Pilate went out to the crowds who cried, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" And Pilate said, "Crucify him yourselves. I find no case against him." And the crowd said, "He has broken our law because he has claimed to be the Son of God." Pilate was afraid. He asked Jesus, "Where are you from? Why will you not speak to me? Don't you know I have the power to release you or to have you killed?" He brought Jesus out to the crowds and said, "Here is your king." But the crowd said, "We have no king but the emperor. Crucify him! Crucify him!" So they crucified Jesus on a hill under a sign which read, "Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews," dividing his clothing among the soldiers. And Jesus looked down from the cross and saw his mother Mary and the disciple he loved. And he said to them, "From now on, you must be mother and son to one another." And so it was. Jesus said he was thirsty, but they gave him only sour wine. Then Jesus said, "It is finished." And he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. these words from Rodney Hamilton. So here we are, standing where we never thought we could, at the foot of death, crushed under the fickleness of humanity. The heart of heaven has stopped. All that hope, the dreams of peace, the promises of justice you so burned with, snuffed out with a few nails and a crossbeam. Oh Jesus, what do we do now? What is there left to do? It is a cold place where the breath of heaven stops. It is a frightening place. It is a lonely place. This is what the world does to love, and then turns its back, rubbing its hands, finished with its final enemy. Oh Jesus, what do we do now? What is there left to do? The Savior had died, and the future can seem lost, out of our grasp. Light is swamped. Oh Jesus, what do we do now? What is there left to do? What do we do now? We wait beyond eternity. We hope beyond every hope we've ever had. We trust beyond belief in a God who cannot leave it here. God be with you on this Good Friday.